table and standard and canonical forms. So we will go with truth table first. So truth table is basically a combination of all variables and its corresponding function. Okay, combination means like possible all possible combinations of their numbers. Like if I am taking x, y, z as my variable, all possible combinations are written here. That is 0, 0, 0, 2, 1, 1, 1. For these all possible combinations, if you write some function output, okay, or some function value, okay, for all possible combinations, this is known as a truth table. Okay, so in this example, like you can see, x, y, z are variables, and one function can be is f1, another is f2, and the third one is f3. And you can check from these truth table, like for f1 the truth table is different, for f2 truth table is different, for f3 truth table is different. Okay, so in this way you can write your truth table. So it's basically a combination of all possible values of variables and its corresponding function value. Okay, so this truth table is a unique representation of Boolean function, and uh, like if two functions, if you are taking care of two functions, and if you are drawing writing truth table for the two functions, and if they are equal, okay, means your two function is equal. Okay, and this is vice versa. Like if the truth table is equal, then I can say, okay, functions are equal. If the functions are equal, then their truth table will be equal. Okay, so this can be used to prove like equality theorem whenever you have some expressions. But like the problem in this truth table, verifying equality theorem with this truth table is like if you increase number of variables, your truth table will exponentially increase. Like for two variables, there are two, that is four possible combinations. For three variables, okay, that is eight possible combinations, two or three. For four variable, that is two or four, that is 16 possible combinations. So you can see from here, all the possible combinations are increasing in exponential manner. So whenever you are having a large number of variables, it's very difficult to prove equality theorem using truth table. Okay, so this is the only drawback of this truth table when you are proving equality theorem from truth table. Okay, so to remove this problem, we are mainly applying Boolean algebra. So Boolean algebra I already covered in the previous lecture. Okay, so like in this case, you can see like we have two expressions or two functions. One is f, another is g. So f, if I see this one, I can by like viewing f and g function, I can say that these two functions are different functions. But if I write truth table of f and g, so by seeing the truth table, like for 0, 0, 0, it's one in the f and one in the g. Okay, for 0, 0, 1, it's 0 here, 0 here. For 0, 1, 0, okay, it's 1, 1. So you can check that all the values of f for its corresponding combination of x, y, z, okay, are equal to all the values of z for the same possible combinations of x, y, and z. Okay, so means if your two truth table, this one and this one, are equal for your variables, then it means your function is equal. So that's why I'm saying this f is equal to g. Okay, so you can prove the same thing like with the help of Boolean algebra. Also, you can simplify this one, simplify this one, and you will get the same expression. Simplified expression will be same for this one and this one. Okay, so there are two methods. Like one, you can simplify that equation. Another is you can use truth table also. We will see other methods also, like using K-map and all those things in further next lecture. So basically, like algebraic manipulation, like for an example, algebraic manipulations are helpful to simplify any expression or to make a simplified circuit. Simplified means to design a cheaper, smaller, or a faster circuit. So for an example, take this one, this f equal to x bar yz plus x bar yz bar plus xz. Okay, so when you simplify this one, you will have this expression like from these two you can take common x bar y. So after taking common x, you are end up with z plus z bar in a bracket. And in the previous lecture, you already have seen that whenever I am taking two functions like x as a one function and x bar another function, so x plus x bar is basically 1. Okay, so in the place of z plus z bar, I am writing 1. Okay, so if I write 1, I will end up with this. And this simplify it further. I can't because neither I can take x as a common, neither y as a common. There is no way I can simplify it further. So this is basically a simplified equation. So like you take this LHS, and by seeing this LHS, like you need to first analyze it. Okay, by seeing these two numbers, you can say that okay, x bar is common in these two and z bar is common in these two. Okay, now I am considering this. Okay, if I take this and this, I can say that okay, I can take z bar as a common and y as a common. Okay, so if I write this middle number two times, because I am taking common from this one and this one, and in the second one I am taking common from this one and this one. So I am writing this number and this value as a two times for solving it. So for from the first one, I am taking x bar z bar common. Okay, and I am ending with y bar plus y. From the second one, I am taking y z bar common and I am ending with x bar plus x. So you already know this is 1 and this is 1. So you are ending with x bar z bar plus y z bar. Okay, and you can write this expression as this also. Z bar you can take common and this is x bar plus y. Okay, so either you can write bar in the in this way, or you can write z bar x bar plus y. Both the things are same. This expression, this expression, this expression, all the expressions are same because number of gates used in this expression is equal to this or equal to this. So after this truth table, let's talk about complement of a function. So whenever you have function y and if you want to complement it, so the thing is you need to take bar of your whole function. Okay, so whenever you are doing complement of your function, basically you are changing dot with plus and plus with dot, you are changing 1 with 0 and 0 with 1, and you are complementing each variable. Okay, remember this thing. This the topic is complement of a function. Previously we have seen dual of a function. So whenever you are doing dual, you need to, you can apply this plus and dot interchange, you can apply this 1 and dot 1 and 0 interchange, but you need not to complement each variable. In the case of complement of each function, you need to complement each variable. Okay, so this is the major difference when you are dealing with complement or dual. Okay, so in this way we can define complement, or another way is whenever you are writing a truth table, you can just replace 1 with 0 and 0 with 1, and if like in this truth table you are getting suppose 0 1 0 1 0 1 something this one. So in if you want to write a truth table for this, in place of 0 you need to write 1, in place of 1 you need to write 0. Okay, so in this way you need to write all the numbers. So let's take one example for complement. Okay, so suppose I want the complement of f, and the function f is basically a combination of three variables, which is x, y, and z, and these three variables we can call them as literals also. Okay, so the combination of three literals. So basically, the combination is x, y bar, z bar, plus x bar yz. Okay, so what you need to do complement. So either you do like in this way, y bar z bar plus x bar y z whole complement. Okay, and break that complement individually. Like first, if you break it, you will end up with x y bar z bar dot x bar y z bar, and then you if you break this individually, you will end up with x bar plus y bar plus z bar dot x bar plus y bar plus z bar. Okay, now if I am taking complement two times, the function will be as it is. So this is basically x bar plus y plus z dot x plus y bar plus z bar, and the same thing, this is the same thing written here. So this is the method I am following, by complementing my whole function, then I am breaking this. Okay, using De Morgan's theorem, and by applying the De Morgan's theorem, I am landing up with this complement function. Okay, this complement function. Okay, so another way is like you just complement all the literals. Okay, and in place of plus you can write dot, in place of dot you can write plus. Okay, so if you do, this is x, so you need to write x bar. In place of this dot you need to write plus. This is y bar, so you need to write y. This is your dot, so you need to write plus. This is your z bar, you need to write z. This is your plus, you need to write dot. This is your x bar, you need to write x. This is your dot. In place of dot plus y bar, dot is converted into plus, z is converted to z bar. Okay, so basically you can apply either in this way or in this way. Both the ways are correct and both the way will result into the same answer. So like this is another example. You need to keep the value of variable as it is. Okay, like if it is a, will be a. If it is a bar, it will be a bar. The thing is you need to change dot to plus and plus to dot. Okay, if there is any zero, you need to change 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. These are the two things you need to change. These literals will remain as it is. Okay, so if you change, you will get a plus b plus c plus d bar dot. In place of plus, you will get dot. A plus b bar plus c bar plus d dot. This is a bar plus b bar plus c bar plus d bar. Okay, so this is your answer if you are calculating dual. Okay, so solve this one. So it is your the question is you need to find dual. So same concept you need to apply when you are finding dual. In place of dot you need to write plus symbol. So this is a plus b bar dot b plus c bar dot c plus d bar. Okay, and when you are finding complement, suppose this the problem is there for complement one. So basically you need to take this you can take in two ways, like you can do the full complement and apply De Morgan's theorem. Okay, or you can directly write, like directly for writing it directly. In place of a you need to write a bar, this dot will be converted into plus, b bar is converted into b, and this plus will be converted into dot, this c bar is c, then this dot will be converted to plus, d is converted into d bar, and this dot will be converted into, this plus will convert into dot, e bar will convert into e, and this dot will convert into f. Okay, so either you do in this way, either you take the complement of the whole function. Okay, complement of the whole function. First you break this complement from here. Okay, then then after that again apply the De Morgan's theorem from here. Okay, then individually apply the De Morgan's theorem for each part. Okay, and you will end up with the same answer. In the next part of this lecture, I'm going to cover this standard and canonical form. So basically, before knowing what is this standard form and canonical form, you need to have knowledge of literals. So whenever you have any variable or its complement, both are known as literals. And product term, whenever you are dealing, basically it's literals connected by dot. Okay, and whenever you are dealing with some term, it's literals connected with plus symbol. Okay, so when I talk about minter, okay, this is the new word, uh, like you are dealing first time. So min term is basically a product term. Okay, remember this. Min term means it is a product term in which all the variable appear exactly once, either complemented or uncomplemented. Okay, so if your function having variable a, b, c, then the combination of a, b, c in product term will be there. Okay, if you are dealing with max term, in the max term a sum term. Okay, in place of a product I am taking a sum term, a sum term in which all the variables appear exactly once, either in the complemented form or uncomplemented form. So these things uh, are known as max term, and other one is known as min term. Okay, so remember this thing, whenever you are writing in the form of product, that is your min term, and whenever you are writing in the form of summation, that is max term. So basically min term, if I discuss in detail, so it's a representation exactly one combination in the truth table. Okay, so if I denote my min term by mj, okay, so where that j is basically a decimal equivalent of that min term number. Okay, and your combination and that decimal equivalent combination in binary is represented by bj. Okay, so suppose I am taking one example, like if you have three variable a, b, and c, and your j is 3. Okay, j is 3, then decimal equivalent, if I am considering bj, that is decimal, sorry, binary equivalent of decimal number 3, that is 0, 1, 1, and its corresponding min term will be whenever you are dealing with min term, if it is if it is 0, you need to write complement. So read this line: a variable in mj is complemented if value in bj is 0. So if it is 0 and you are writing min term, then it is a variable complement. Okay, if your variable is a and you want to write 0, it is a bar. If you want to write 1, it is a. Okay, that is there if you are dealing with min terms. Okay, so basically you need to write 0, 1, 1 with the help of three variable, which is a, b, c. So 0 you are writing a bar, b, this is b, so b is 1, so you are writing b. This is c is 1, so you are writing c. So 0, 1, 1 you are representing with a bar, b, c. In the max term, the thing is you need to write in the form of summation, and the change is like whenever you need to you need to write in the form of uh, complemented one. It's your binary value should be 1. Okay, so for an example, you want to write 0, 1, 1 in term of max term. Okay, so zero means that is this is a, this is b, this is c. So zero means that is a bar. Okay, in the previous case, zero means a. Sorry, in this case it is a. Okay, in the previous case zero means a bar. In this case zero means a. Okay, then you need to write plus symbol because you are dealing with max term. B means this is your bar, b bar. This one in place of C means this is C bar. Okay, so 0, 1, 1 you are representing with A plus B bar plus C bar. So now if I consider X, Y, Z as my three variables, and if this is my truth table for X, Y, Z, I can write all the individual combinations into in its min term form also and max term form also. Okay, suppose I want to write 0 0 0 in the form of minterm. So 0 is basically x bar, this 0 is basically y bar, next 0 is basically your z bar. Okay, so you are writing x bar, y bar and z bar, and this is your minterm, and the value of j, that is the decimal equivalent of this value, decimal equivalent of this value is 0. Okay, similarly if I write 001, this is x bar, y bar, z, and the decimal equivalent of this one is 1. Okay, if I write 010, this is x bar, y, z bar, and the decimal equivalent of this one is 2. If I write 011, okay, it is x bar, y, z, and the decimal equivalent is 3. In the same way, if you write for 111, it is x, y, z, and for 111, your decimal equivalent is 7. Okay, so in this way, you can write minter. Okay, if you are dealing with maxter, then you need to apply concept like if it is 0, you need to write x. If it is 1, you need to write x bar. Okay, so in the first case it is 0 0 0, means this is x plus y plus z. Remember this plus also. Okay, whenever you are writing in max term. So this is 0 0 0, you can write as x plus y plus z. Okay, this 0 0 1 you can write as x plus y plus z bar. Okay, because at in the place of z it is 1. Okay, so this 0 0 1 you can write as x plus y plus z bar. If I take this 1 0 1, okay, this is x bar plus y plus z bar. Okay, so in this way I am writing my max term. And like if you want to represent in terms of small m and capital M, so the max term is basically capital M represented with capital M, and this number like this 3 is the decimal equivalent of its binary composition. Okay, this 5 is the decimal equivalent of this 1 0 1. Okay, similarly this is 1 1 1 is the decimal equivalent of 7. Okay, for 1 1 1 it is x bar, y bar, x bar plus y bar plus z bar. Okay, so that's why you are writing x bar, y bar plus z bar. Okay, so in this way you can write minterm and max term of all possible combinations in your truth table. Okay, all possible combinations of your variable, these x, y, z are your variables or literals. Okay, so now we are going to canonical forms. So canonical form, you can say that any Boolean function can be expressed as a unique sum of minterm. Okay, this sum of minterm or product of max term. Okay, so we can write any expression or any Boolean function or any truth table in these two forms. Okay, so we are dividing our canonical form into two parts. Okay, the first part is I am writing as a canonical sum of product. This I can write as a SOP in short also. And this second is canonical product of sum. Okay, this I can write as a POS. Okay, so whenever you are dealing with sum of product, so basically it is a sum of minterms. Okay, and whenever you are dealing with product of sum, it is basically product of max terms. Okay, so if all possible combinations of variables are there in your expression in the form of sum of product, then that expression is known as canonical sum of product expression. And if all possible combinations of your variables are there in the form of product of sum, okay, you can say that is a canonical product of sum expression. So for an example, uh, like before going to example, like whenever you are dealing with SOP, sum of product, or whenever you are dealing with minterms, okay, you need to like find out the value of function as a 1 in your truth table. Okay, so and whenever you are dealing with the product of sum, so you need to find out 0 in your truth table. So suppose I am taking this example. Okay, by seeing this truth table, I need to write the expression of this function f1. Okay, you have truth table and you want to write the expression of your function f1. Okay, so you can write your expression of f1 in two forms. One is canonical sum of product, another is canonical product of sum. Okay, so this is basically SOP, and second one is POS. Okay, sum of product we can also call it as a sum of min term. Okay, product of sum we can call it as product of max term. So we are first writing in the form of canonical sum of product. So for writing in the form of canonical sum of product, by seeing this truth table, you need to identify like the location of one. Okay, so by seeing this table, I can identify this is these four are the location of one. After finding out the location of one, you need to find out its equivalent combination of a, b, and c, because a, b, c are your three variables. Okay, your function is basically in the combination of a, b, and c. Okay, so these are four combinations for my f1 equal to 1. Okay, and I need f1 equal to 1, all possible values of all possible combinations of ABC where f1 is 1. Okay, so by seeing this, like this is 0 0 1, I can say this is m1. By seeing this 0 1 0, its decimal equivalent is 2, I can say this is m2. By seeing this 1 0 0, I can say this is m4. By seeing this 1 1 0, I can say this is m6. Okay, and this m1 means 0 0 1 I can write in the form of SOP as a bar, b bar, c. Okay, so this is my a bar, b bar, c. This is my a bar, b bar, c. Second one is 0 1 0. 0 1 0 means a bar, b, c. So this is a bar, b, c. Third is a, b bar, c. Fourth is a, b, c bar. Okay, so after writing these all things, these all four combinations, we are including plus in between all these min terms. Okay, because this is basically sum of product or sum of min term. Okay, and I am writing my expression of f1 as a sum of min terms or sum of product or SOP form. Okay, so with this example, it is clear like whenever there is a problem, like truth table is given to you and you need to find out the expression uh, from your truth table, you need to find out the location of one in the output or in the function column, and you need to find out the corresponding combinations of your variables, and for that corresponding function for that corresponding combinations of your variables, you need to write the expression in the form of your minterms. And the second one, let's take the example of this second one. Okay, canonical product of sum. So whenever you need to write your expression in the form of product of sum or product of max term, so basically you need to find out the location of zeros. So if I see like this is first location, this is second location, this is third location, this is fourth location. So I can see wherever there is no one, there is zero in this case. So in this case, I can see like four locations are there for zero. So this is one possible combination, this is second possible combination, this is third possible combination, and this one is the fourth possible combination. Okay, so I can write that capital M, this is 0 0 0, and this decimal equivalent of 0 0 0 is 0. So capital M 0. Second one is 0 1 1. So capital M 3. Third one is 1 0 1. So capital M 5. Last one is 1 1 1. So capital M 7. Okay, and I'm doing product. This is the product. Okay, I'm product of doing product of all those max terms. Okay, now I need to write these max terms in the form of variables. So the first one is 0 0 0. So 0 I can represent with a, this 0 I can represent with b, and next 0 I can represent with c. Okay, so this is basically a plus b plus c. So I'm getting this thing from here. Second one is A plus B bar plus C. This I am getting from here, A plus B bar plus C bar. The third one is A bar plus B plus C bar. Okay, from here. And the fourth one is A bar plus B bar plus C bar. Okay, so if I write all the max term and if I do the product of all the max term, so I will get this expression. Okay, and these two expressions are identical. Okay, basically they are identical because the if you substitute any of the possible combinations of A, B, C in either F1 or F2, you will end up with these values of F1. Okay, so for both the expression, whether it is in this form or this form, you will end up with the same truth table. Okay, so the thing is, you can if you have the truth table of any function, you can write expression of that truth table in the form of canonical SOP or canonical POS. Okay, and these two things are equal. Okay, these two functions are equal, but like you can see that there is no don't care case. These don't care case we will discuss later. So if there is no don't care case, like if like you have some values of 1 in your function, the rest value are basically 0. Okay, so if you see here, it is 1 2 4 6. If these are 1, okay, so then 0 3 5 7, okay, these are 0. So this sum of product, basically I am representing that sum of minterm. Okay, minterm I already told you I am representing with a small m, and this sum of minterm, this is the symbol for sum of minterm. Okay, so in this example, like my function f1 is a combination of a, b, c, and having the sum of minterm, minterm 1, minterm 2, minterm 4, and minterm 6. Okay, I can write the same expression as a function of ABC as a product of, this is product of max term, and max term is max term 0, max term 3, max term 5, max term 7. Okay, so I can check like these two expressions are identical, equal, and whenever you, if you want to convert from min term to max term, like in this example, the problem is convert from min term to max term. Okay, so like your expression is f1, and you can, by seeing this equation, you can identify that these are sum of min term. Okay, basically these are individual minterms. Okay, this is one minterm, second, third, and this is fourth minterm, and these are in the form of this summation. So whenever you have sum of minterms, and if you want to convert into product of max term, so basically you need to write minterm, like this is 0 0 1, and 0 0 1 is 1. Okay, so for this one you are writing 2, for this one this is 1 0 0, this is 4, this is 1 1 0, this is 6. So 1 2 4 6. So you are writing this one as 1 2 4 6. And since you know, if you have three variable, okay, there are possible combinations from 0 to 7. Okay, so if 1 2 4 and 6 are there in sum of min term, then the leftover part, which is 0 3 5 7, and that leftover part is there in the form of max term, product of max term. So for 0 individually you can write a max term, for 5, for 3, for 7, and you need to do product of all those things. Okay, so in this way you can convert your min term into max term. So now we will see what is the standard form. So whenever you are dealing with a standard also I can write in two ways. One is, so whenever I am dealing with this standard form, I can write my standard form as sum of product and product of sum. Okay, so whenever I am writing in the form of a standard sum of product, so like there is like you can write all the all the things in the form of product, and then you need to write sum in the form of summation, but it's not necessary like all the components will be there. So standard forms um, are like canonical form itself, and except the one thing that all the variables uh, need not to appear in the individual SOP or POS terms. Okay, so here you can see that this A bar, B bar, C, this is in the form of product. This B bar C in the form of product. This is also in the form of product, and these three products are basically summing up. So that's why I'm calling it as a sum of products. So uh, like initially I'm doing product, and then I'm doing the summation. And here you can see only B and C are present, A is not present. That's why it is not canonical form. Only B or and C are there. That's why I'm calling it as an standard form. Okay. And this third one also you can see that is A C bar. Okay, in this third one, there is AC bar. There is no any component of B. So I can say like this AC bar, I can say it is in the form of product, and all the products are doing having the summation of each other. So that this is standard sum of product form. In the same manner, you can write standard product of sum. Okay, so in this second example, like this, you can say it is a summation of three variable term A, B, C. This is a summation of two variable term B, C. This is the summation of A and C. And after doing summation, basically you are doing product or dot of these three terms. Okay, so you can say you are doing summation, then you are implementing this product, and you can say it is a product of sum expression. And since all the variables are not there, it is an standard product of sum. Okay, so in standard also there I can write my expression in two forms. I can write it as a SOP form or POS form. Now I will take one example where I can see how I can convert my standard into a canonical form or canonical into a standard form. Okay, so suppose you have this example A bar B bar C plus B C bar plus A C bar. Okay, and since by seeing this equation you can say that this is an standard equation of A B C as a variable and your function is f1. And now if you want to convert this as an canonical SOP form, so what you need to do, you need to identify that which variable is missing it at to in which identity. Okay, so for this middle one BC bar, A is missing. So if that A is missing, so first I am this writing this BC bar, okay, as a multiplication of 1, because you have already known that if I multiply 1 with anything, not multiply, that is dot. Okay, if I dot do AND operation of this one with any function y, I will end up with y. Okay, if I like y can be anything, it can be a bar, b bar. Okay, if I am doing one with a bar, I am ending with a bar. If I am doing one with a, I am ending with a. Okay, so these things I already told you in the previous lecture. So in the place of this one, then I need to write this one in the form of like a. Okay, so since there is missing, the missing part is a, so I'm writing this one as a combination of a, that is a plus a bar. Okay, if you choose a equal to 1, this is 1 plus a 1 bar, that is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. If you choose a equal to 0, that is 0 plus 0 bar, that is 0 plus 1, and 0 plus 1 is 1. So either you choose a equal to 1 or 0, it is 1. Okay, so that's why I'm writing this equation a plus a bar equal to 1. So in the place of 1, this 1, I'm writing a plus a bar. Similarly, A and C are present here in this expression. B is missing here. So in the place of this B, I'm treating it as 1, and for this 1 I am writing B plus B bar. Okay. After writing all those things, I'm just opening my bracket, and by opening my bracket I will get A B C bar and A bar B C bar. Okay, so I will get this one and this one. After opening this, I will get A B C bar, that is this, and A B bar C. Okay, so after opening my bracket, I need to analyze whether there is any repetition or not, because whenever I'm writing in the form of canonical form, the thing is all the combinations are unique need to be unique, they need not to repeat. Okay, so here you can see A B C bar, A B C bar, it is coming like twice in the same expression. So I can remove one. Okay, because A plus A is basically A, or any expression Y plus Y is Y, or if I write 4 times also Y plus Y plus Y plus Y, it is Y. Okay, so if I write 2 times or a single times, it will not change my expression. That's why I'm combining these two and I'm writing it as a single time. And now I can see that all the possible combinations are identical or unique. Okay, they are not matching with each other. So I have 4 possible combinations of ABC in the form of canonical one. Okay, so this is basically sum of product or sum of minter. Okay, so the same expression you can see that in this is the same expression from here. Okay, so the same expression you are getting here also. Now, if suppose I have a standard SOP POS form, okay, and if I want to convert that standard POS into canonical POS, here you need to find out which variable is missing. Like in this A, B, C, all the things are there. In this sum term, A is missing. In this sum term, B is missing. Okay, so if you want to convert, if here in this case, middle one, A is missing. So in place of this expression B bar plus C bar, you are writing 0 plus B bar plus C bar, because 0 plus something is something. Okay, 0 plus Y is Y. 0 plus some expression is some expression. Okay, so and then in the place of 0, you are writing that 0 in term of A. So that is A into A bar. Okay, and the same thing you are doing with this second, the third part. In the place of B, B is missing, so that's why you are writing 0, and 0 you are converting into B bar. Okay, after writing this expression, basically you are applying a distributive law. Distributive law we have already discussed. Like distributive law is this. Okay, x plus by y into z. Basically you can write this one is x plus y. Okay, x plus y and dot of x plus z. Okay, so basically you are writing the same thing in this one also. So you are after like writing the same thing, you will get like A plus B plus C, and here you will get this A plus B bar plus C bar, and this you are like okay. If you have any confusion in this one, this is that I'm breaking this one. Okay, this is A bar plus B bar plus C bar. Okay, if I break this, like I can treat, okay, concentrate on this expression. I can take one bracket here. Okay, now match these two equations, this expression and this expression. Okay, I can write this one as like this whole term. I can take one variable, suppose y, and this is a bar. So I can write y plus a and dot of y plus a bar. So the same thing I have done. I have taken B bar plus C, B bar plus C, then this A. In the second one, I have taken B bar plus C and this A bar. Okay, so I have implemented distributive law. The same distributed law I have implemented for this one, like a bar plus c bar. This is a bar plus c bar, and this b is separate here. This b bar is separate for second case. Okay, after writing all the max terms, I need to see whether there is any overlap or not. Okay, so by visualizing this expression, I can check that there is one overlap. This is a bar b bar c bar, and this is also a bar b bar c bar. So I can eliminate one. Okay, after eliminating one, I will end up with this four max term in the form of dotted one. Okay, that is product of max term. Okay. So in this way, I can write standard, and standard I can convert into canonical, whether that standard is in the form of SOP or POS. So with this, the theory part of these topics are over now, and let's solve some questions, some 2-3 questions. Okay, so this is A dot B plus C dot D in bracket. Okay, so if I take this expression as Y, and if I want, like, I can analyze that this is A dot B bar dot C dot D bar, and if I convert, this is A dot B plus C dot D whole bar. Okay, so this is basically Y bar. So if I do Y dot Y bar, that is equal to 0. Simplify this equation. By analyzing this expression, full expression, you can analyze from this part, from here to here. Okay, like this part is basically 1 plus something. This is your something. Okay, this is your something, and this is your 1. This is 1 plus something. Okay, whenever you are doing 1 plus something, logical it is 1. Okay, so your full, this part is 1 basically, and now what you are doing, you are multiplying 1 with something. So if you are multiplying 1 with something, or you are doing dot of 1 with something, you are getting something. And in this case, your something is basically this. Okay, so basically what you need to do, you need to simplify this expression. Okay, now come to this one. Take this LM, L plus M bar. Okay, I can write this L plus M bar as L bar M whole bar. Okay, and this second term is L bar dot M. I am taking these parts. So this I can write as a L bar plus M, L bar dot M whole bar, and this is itself this one. And then if I consider this term as Y, this term as Y, this full term is basically Y bar. So if I do Y bar dot Y, it is 0. Okay, now come to this part. This part, if I break this one, I can write this as L plus M bar. Okay, and this one is basically L plus M. Again the same thing, if I write this as a Z, this one is basically Z bar. So Z bar into Z, that is 0. So basically your full expression is 1 in bracket 0 plus 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 1 dot 0, and 1 dot 0 is 0. So your answer is 0. Let's solve this question. This question is basically, you need to write this expression of f in the form of min term and max term. Okay, and you are having three variable a, b, and c. Okay, and this is product of 0, 3, 7. Okay, so basically this is your max term. Okay, this 0, 3, 7. So whenever you write, if you write in the form of max terms, okay, so in the form of max term, whenever you write this one, this is expressed in the form of a, b, c equal to this zero. This zero you can represent with a plus b plus c. Okay, zero means all zero. Okay, three means three means zero, one, one. Seven means all one. Okay, now you need to give this dot, then you need to write 0, 1, 1. So this 0, 1, 1 is a plus b bar plus c bar. Then again one dot. This 1, 1, 1 is a bar plus b bar plus c bar. Okay, so in this way I can write in the form of max term. If I want to write in min term, so basically I need to find what are the terms or what are the combinations of A, B, C are there in min terms. So if like your max term is 037, so your min term, which is summation, is basically your remaining values like 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so basically you need to write 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 in the form of summation. Okay, so unlike in the form of minterm, then summation of that minterm. So 1 is basically 0, 0, 1, 2 is 0, 1, 0. Okay, 4 is 1, 0, 0, 5 is 1, 0, 1, 6 is 1, 1, 0. Okay, so if you want to write 0, 0, 0 in the form of a, b, c, this is your a, this is your b, this is your c. Okay, so you will get a bar, b bar, c, then plus, this is a bar, b, c, c bar, this is plus a, b, c bar bar plus a, b, c bar plus a, b, c bar. Okay, so this is the expression of f, a, b, c when you write in the form of min terms. Okay, so with this, I am ending this lecture, and in next lecture we will cover K-map.